AfterBuzzers, we're about to talk episode 18 of New Girl, Young Adult, so stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
We were just talking about, right before we started the show, how nostalgic this makes us of the first season of New Girl. It's so amazing. This show is just overall so amazing. Clearly why we're here to discuss it and break it down with you guys. Thank you again for joining us this week. I'm your host, Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Nasta and on Instagram at Girl. And Tessa Cevaal, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Cevaal.
So just getting right into it, we had some great, they were each storyline. We got Cece and Winston doing their thing, Schmidt and Jeremy, which we'll introduce, doing their thing, and we've got Nick and Jess doing their thing. So kicking it off with the whole Cece and Winston classic mess around, which they got very emotional about this one.
I know, and it made me emotional. Did it make you emotional?
It did. It started getting me prepared for the fact that we are going to have to swallow that, oh no, this is actually happening. Schmidt and Cece are actually moving out of the loft. This is a real thing.
I know. It really hit me because I think since we haven't seen the house in the past couple episodes, we haven't really seen any...
The progress.
Yeah.
The last progress we saw was the office.
Yeah.
Or the house party.
I kind of keep forgetting about it.
I know, me too.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is happening.
Uh-huh.
But it has taken a while.
Yeah, I know. Well, they said 6 months, so I guess in the world
New
of
Girl
New
time.
Girl, technically, it's probably been maybe it's only been 3 in New Girl world. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll see more of that soon. But we had them messing around to try to get Ferguson back in their custody because apparently their neighbor Gil thought that Ferguson was her cat.
That was so weird at first. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't also realize Ferguson just goes MIA for a while.
Yeah, I know. And Winston, this is just what makes his character so great, is that he's he was just like, Ferguson, I told you to take your cell phone. He legitimately, and the character in mind of Winston, I feel like he really does believe that him and Ferguson have a kind of he doesn't even need a cell phone, but a way to talk to each other telepathically to be are you okay?
Yeah.
I don't think he would ever be weirded out if he actually went missing, because he'd be like, don't worry, he'll come back. Right?
Yeah, no, totally. Which I love about Winston. He's just such a genuine, lovable person. He trusts everyone and everything.
I know.
Just so beautiful.
I know. Even Lamorne in real life, who he is as a real person. I follow him on Instagram and everything. He's hilarious.
All of his stories.
Yeah.
So funny.
I feel like maybe they have some similarities of being super cool and funny. But I thought that was a great small storyline to kind of throw Ferguson in the mix a little bit, because Ferguson is a character. In New Girl, we can never.
Consistent character.
Yes, we can't forget about him.
A season regular.
Not too much character development there, but we did see him we saw Winston get the catstody of Ferguson.
I loved that.
I loved it too. And we saw Cece and get really emotional about losing Winston, and she wanted to make sure that she could win Ferguson back into the loft for Winston.
That was really
great.
sweet. I liked that.
It was.
Although what was weird is that Gil had a tail.
I saw that too.
Did you catch that at the end?
Yes.
I was like, what?
She was a little too much. She just in general. Yeah. It was
whoa.
And when she said something about how they used to watch the airplanes. I don't know, they watched airplanes and she kissed and she's like, okay, Winston and Cece were like, no, that's weird.
That was weird.
Don't do it. Yeah. So weird Gil, but good thing is that Winston got the catstody and he can, let Gil have her time sometimes when it's appropriate.
Yes.
But leading into a little bit of people that are maybe a bit off, we've got Jeremy, because Schmidt is getting an assistant.
Okay, first impressions of Jeremy, go.
I thought he was a little too much at first, obviously, but definitely is just trying to overachieve, trying to make sure he's there for Schmidt. But it can be overwhelming. But I thought overall, he's a funny character. I think we could definitely see them playing him out a little bit more and kind of getting that fun work vibe, because I think they're trying to maybe play around with Schmidt and have him more in the story this season. I don't know. Maybe I'm off with that.
Well, I feel like, yeah, I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
Schmidt kind of, in a way, has been pushed to the wayside. Because
Yeah.
I think there's been a lot of emphasis, especially in the last couple episodes, on Nick and Jess. We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, rewind a couple seasons, Schmidt was honestly, to me, almost a completely different person. Kind of this,
Yeah.
like, playboy, like, single guy, like, with, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the, what was the jar called?
Oh, the douchebag jar.
The douchebag jar.
Oh, I missed the douchebag jar.
And now he's kind of this married, promoted guy. There's just
Yeah.
been so much growth with him. So I agree that he's kind of almost become a tad bit boring. Just like on the slightest level.
It's not boring because
not
Schmidt
boring,
could
yeah.
never be boring, but it's the fact that we're not getting as much of Schmidt's character as we used to, which is like
Yeah.
sad. It's like we're just missing something. But I guess to go back to what my first thoughts of Jeremy are, sorry, it's hard for me to like go to a full sentence with Schmidt because there's so much to say. But I actually wrote down that something's fishy. He's too good. Like he's going to take over Schmidt's job. That's
Yes.
my first impression of him, is that he's gonna somehow slither his way in and like try to take over, and it'd be like kind of like they're fighting against each other. But okay, Tessa, your thoughts of Jeremy?
Okay, when Schmidt was interviewing him, I was like watching his response of the whole like foreplay of this
Yeah.
weird like scenario that he gave him.
Yeah.
And I was just dying. I was like, this is exactly who Schmidt needs.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point where I was like, maybe not.
It's
Maybe
too
this
much.
is too much.
Yeah.
But I love Jeremy. I think
Yeah.
he's hilarious.
I think he did add like a really good comedic taste to like Schmidt's job, because we've
Yeah.
only seen the women that he's worked with so far. So I thought it was interesting that they'd bring in a guy assistant, because he's always talking about how he's working with women all day. So it was awesome to see him come in as that, and just basically, I think it is something that Schmidt needs. He needs to be like his feet swiped. Like if you were anything less than what Jeremy was, he would have, like you said, been angry.
Yeah.
So that was great. But in the interviews, when he was interviewing people, I thought it was really funny when he said, the guy was like, oh, dang it. He said, can you untie your tie? And he's like, oh, sorry, I can't. It's a clip-on. He's like, I knew it. Get out. I was like, yes, Schmidt.
That is
Calling
such
him
a
out.
Schmidt thing. Like, who else would know that?
I have no idea. I was actually trying to look at it like,
I know, me too. I was like, huh?
I don't know, guys. Would you know a clip-on from a tie-on? Maybe you could see, like, you know how like the line, like you could see if the tie keeps going, if he's like staring at it. I don't know.
Which
That's
Schmidt would
definitely,
do.
yeah, Schmidt would definitely find those details and totally stare at the tie and like see if it's like actually on his collar.
What kind of cracks me up too, really quick,
Yeah.
is Schmidt was basically telling Jeremy kind of towards the end of the episode, like, don't continue down this track, like, da-da-da-da. And not that Schmidt isn't successful,
Yeah.
but the way he was talking made it seem like he was, like, a congressperson. Like, oh, I, like, sweated and, like,
Yeah.
like, you know, just, like, did all this stuff and, like, it's not worth it.
He
I'm like,
said he
Schmidt,
worked
like,
4 days straight without water. At
I'm like-
first I was like, why?
I know.
Why would you do that without water? Just drink. Just
But
get a
it's
glass.
so Schmidt to
Yeah.
just exaggerate everything.
Yeah, no, but I did love that you just brought up the fact that he was like giving him that like talk about, oh, this is how I used to be and you're like me. I thought it was, I don't even know where I was going, but I thought it was great. Just so much Schmidt stuff. I thought it was great that he brought up the fact that like he didn't want him to be like Schmidt, but then he was like, wait, no, never mind. Of course I want you to work hard. Of course I want you. It kind of like knocked him back into reality.
Yeah.
So it's like he had to have him there to kind of be his bounce board. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe instead of what I initially thought, which was that he's too fishy, he's too good, maybe he'll be like the right balance of what Schmidt needs at work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll
I
see.
think it's going to work out.
I hope so.
foresee them
Hope
having,
Jeremy.
like,
Wishing
a
you well.
weird bromance where they're like
Yeah.
going to continue to just like outdo each other.
Yeah. And
Like it's going to be a little competitive, but I think it'll be a
Yeah.
healthy competition.
You're right. I like that, Tessa. I really like that.
Thank you, Allie.
You're welcome. And I think the Loft, they only need people like that are very much different. Maybe that's the problem with Reagan, is that she's not, like, she's too normal for them. So it's like, when she comes into the picture,
normal,
you're like,
yeah.
she just doesn't mesh well. I mean, she does mesh well, but she kind of stands on the wayside because they're all just so quirky and funny that they all just, it's normal in their group of friends to be quirky and all that.
Yes.
Speaking of quirky, we've got Nick, who's forever young. Hence, I feel like
Forever young.
he's
I
forever,
love that.
forever young. Just like kind of the title alludes, young adult. I thought it was so funny that he was like totally bonding with the kids as if they were on the same level.
Right? I feel like because we never really see Nick with younger people, I don't picture him interacting with them well.
Yeah.
And to see him totally jive with like these 3 teenage girls, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was such a cool side of Nick to see him like, getting so excited. And like,
it felt like he was in his own element, like he was meant to be there. But see, so here we have it, is that his Pepperwood Chronicles is actually a hit at the school.
Yes.
And he thought it was going to be, what was it, like sailors and people of New Orleans and blue-collar workers that are like over the age of 30 that would read his book. But here we have teenage girls loving it because Jess just left it in the library. Here we go again with Jess saving the day and a way to make Nick feel special.
and not even really trying.
No, which is just why they're meant to be. Which, are we going to get into that again? I guess we will.
Yes.
So basically, you know, Jess loses her authority at work because of Nick, and they kind of, it's like, they kind of come together with this whole trying to make sure that Jess feels comfortable at work. It gets a little out of hand. But then we see Nick do something for Jess in this episode to do something for her. Why? Because he feels he actually is acknowledging the fact that Jess always is there to pick him up when he's down. Tessa.
That moment, you guys, at the end of the episode, I was like, you have so much chemistry and you care so much about each other. Just do something. I just felt like there's been such a big build overall, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed nothing happened, because if you guys watched the last episode, I was like, it was so teed up for something to happen, because the whole kind of main plot line was around them.
Yeah, I definitely agree wholeheartedly, because we kind of, I mean, I felt like we were kept in getting that urge of like a kiss, like Jess and Nick were gonna kiss. But it did leave us at almost a cliffhanger in terms of their relationship. So it was really kind of disappointing to see that this episode we didn't see much progression. We did see them open up to each other and have that conversation about, like, she thanked him for doing that, and he's like, well, you're always there for me. And I thought it was cute where they had that cute moment where she was like, okay, sweetie, which was cute. But I just feel like we're at this like what is it?
Like a standstill.
Yeah, we haven't seen any much progression, which is kind of making me wonder, okay, should I full-heartedly get on this Jess and Nick bandwagon again, or should I think that there's hope with Reagan and Nick? Like, I just don't know, and we're just not getting much. So this episode for me, I just was a little bit disappointed, just like you were saying, that we didn't see more progression in the relationship, because clearly, maybe I take back what I just said. There's clearly something's gonna happen between them, but like, it seems like it's not. It's like a push and pull. We're playing tug of war right now. We don't know what we're gonna get, but we're we're pulling. We are we're pulling for Nick and Jess to happen. So we're like waiting for it. But I don't know. Do you feel like maybe we're just waiting for something that's not gonna happen?
I'm starting to think that, which is making me sad. But again, Nick didn't talk about Reagan really at all this episode.
That's true.
So that's kind of something too.
Well, I think what's also, there could be like a big pit in this, is the fact that they keep agreeing on everything they're doing. It's like one episode Jess does something for Nick, one episode Nick's done something for Jess. But basically, what's kind of strange is the pattern has been Nick has done something 2 times in a row for her to make sure that she is successful. Like, he's the one that kind of got, tried to get her out of her head for the whole first day of work. He was like, we need to make sure Jess is okay. So I think this is definitely, like, a step, or like major steps ahead of where they used to be in their relationship. And I think it might be like a realization that, okay, like, we are good together now. We weren't back a couple of years ago, but now we're good together. But I don't know. I think the only reason I'm totally, like, playing this out in my head is because we heard that synopsis from Jake Johnson. And I'm just
I
like
know.
pulling for
That
it.
really like screwed me
Yes.
up.
Now you feel like it's really gonna happen and you're not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I don't know, Tessa. I guess we should just I guess you know.
No, but I'm totally there with you because I just feel like we're seeing a part of their relationship or just like a maturity in their relationship that we were waiting for so long when they were together. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's here now, but you're not together.
Exactly.
And it's like pulling onto my heart. I'm like, just
exactly. No, you couldn't have. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like right what you said right there. It's gonna be a realization, hopefully, where they both are like, it's going to work now. We're going to make it work. But I guess we're just gonna have to figure out how Reagan's gonna get out of the picture.
Reagan, I loved you for so long, and now I'm like,
we loved you for a whole 3 episodes. We were totally just, I guess it's always going to be Nick and Jess, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. This episode, like we had said many times, like I said 5 times in a row probably, it didn't give us much. So I guess we'll just have to wait till the next episode. But we don't have too many episodes left before the series finale.
I know.
Or, not series, sorry, season finale. Oh, gosh. I'm speaking ahead of myself. Which, in speaking of series, make sure that you hashtag #ReNewGirl.
Yes.
So we can push for season 7.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I'm sorry, we got to see Winston and Allie get married. We got to see Jess and Nick get married. There are so much more that we need to see, so we need a season 7. But before we can get into our predictions for maybe the end of the season leading into season 7, we should say our favorite Schmidt quotes.
Ooh.
Yes. Okay, so I had a couple. My first one, wait, I didn't realize his company was called Astrat. Is that an abbreviation? He kept being like, welcome to Astrat. Did you catch that?
I did not catch that.
I guess it's the name of his company, but I never noticed that before. So, I mean, maybe I just hadn't been, like, tuning into the name of the company, but I thought that was funny that was the name of it.
That is funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever caught on to it either.
Yeah. So, anyways, he said, when they were talking about the coffee thing, he said, you treat that heart of yours like a baseball man's mitt. That he was just like making these weird things. And then he said, I'll knife you by the urinal, Winston. And then Nick was like, stop with the knifing. Stop with the urinals. So those were my favorite ones.
I know. Who says that? Well,
I know.
we say this every time we talk about Schmidt
Yeah.
goes, but I'm just like,
Who
what?
says that? But it's just, that's why his character and his humor is so great, because the writers say these lines that just the way he enunciates them, they come out so slick and smooth that you're like, how is that even possible for someone to think that? But it's perfect. Okay, sorry. So what was yours?
Okay, I actually didn't write mine down, so I don't have them verbatim, but I had 2. One was the coffee.
Yes.
And he was like, we might as well just fill it with goldfish.
I
I
like
don't know
that
why
one.
I thought that was so funny. It was just so random to me. And then my other one was the scenario that he gave Jeremy.
That was a good one.
It
yeah.
was just so like,
smooth.
what? How did you come up with that situation? Like, that's so random.
So random.
But it's
so Schmidt. So Schmidt. Working for Astrat, which I really want to know now. Like, I need to do some research that if that's the name of his company, because I was like, how did I not notice that before? But with that, maybe we should get into some predictions for the end. Let's make our predictions for the end of the season, which is crazy. All right, Tessa.
I know.
Go for it.
Time
I
has
know.
flown. So, you guys, unfortunately, I don't really have a new prediction. I think I'm going to stick to some old
That's
ones that I
all right.
have.
We can do
Nick
that.
and Jess, I foresee it coming still. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully that will be soon.
Do you think we're gonna be left on a cliffhanger before the end of the season?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I still
pregnancy.
think Cece's going to get pregnant.
All right, I'm down with that. Obviously, was that your any of your predictions?
Out of this episode, I don't have a new one.
Yeah. I feel like we've kind of had similar ones throughout the whole season, which obviously mine's the same as Tessa. Something's going to happen where they're like Jess and Nick are going to get together, except my prediction was that something with Reagan drastic is going to happen, but like I said last episode, I don't think it's going to be drastic anymore. I think they're going to break up with a realization, and Jess is going to be there to comfort Nick, and that's how it's going to happen. But it will leave on a cliffhanger, and we'll be waiting for that love to set fire in the next season. It's going to be great. Nick and Jess coming through.
Wait, you know what? I actually have another prediction.
Okay.
And it's very random.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think Ferguson might have a secret family that we will find out about. Like a cat family.
That like is gonna come into like.
Yes.
I was like, wait, we already have found out Gil.
No. Like he's
Okay.
gonna have like a lover and like have little baby kittens.
Oh my gosh, that'd be great. Oh my gosh, Winston and Allie could be a cat family, like mom and dad.
I know.
To like, okay, I like that prediction. That's fun. That's a fun one. Yeah, and I have one actual prediction that I kind of am taking back to what I said about leaving on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the season ends with Nick and Jess getting eloped. Crazy.
Wait, I feel like I predicted that at some
Did you?
point.
Maybe
didn't
you
I?
did. Maybe that's why it's coming back now.
No. I predicted that about Winston and Allie.
Oh, okay. Well, that could happen too. So maybe someone's gonna get eloped. Not exactly sure who. So that would be pretty exciting.
You guys.
That would be exciting. And Nick and Jess have a tendency to run away with their problems.
Is true.
When they like each other. They just don't want any distractions. So maybe they'll just go and they'll elope. Who knows?
Season finale.
Yeah.
Nick and Jess elope. Allie and Winston get married. Cece gets pregnant.
That would be the craziest season finale I think we could ever possibly see in New Girl, but I wouldn't put it past them because they always leave us on such a cliffhanger. But with that being said, I guess we'll have to wait until next week's episode. Actually, I think there is a hiatus, so we'll see you 2 weeks from now. And thank you guys so much for watching as usual. If you're interested in any other after shows, you can find me tonight actually at 11 p.m. for Sun Records, which is a great new series you should definitely tune into. And Mondays, Tessa and I will actually be starting The Arrangement at 8 p.m., is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 8 p.m., so make sure you tune into that. Again, I'm Allie Nasta. You can find me on Twitter at Allie Nasta and on Instagram at Allie Girl. And Tessa Cevaal, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tessa_Cevaal.
We will see you in a couple weeks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.